A beautiful Thursday afternoon to you and welcome to Midday News on OGTV. My name is Opeyemi Adeumi. Over 100 people have been apprehended and made to face the music for violating COVID-19 protocols in Ogun State and Ogun East Senatorial District as the State Special Task Force continues with the enforcement of the use of face masks. Dr. Toyin Taiwo, the leader of the enforcement team to these areas, made this known while speaking with journalists in Shagamu local government. Bumi Adigun was at the task force and he completes the reports.
In Ogun State and protect lives of its people is not being taken for granted as the special task force considered by the government moved to Ijebu-Ode for further enforcement. It is a different ball game here, as no one is seen using face mask, rather kept in their bags while others just hold it. Now to the business of the day. It is said that you use the face mask or face the magistrate, while you either pay a fine or subjected to community service. The team leader, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, explained the situation in Ijebu-Ode.
The level of compliance was actually zero. But before leaving there, we found that it has actually increased. And I think we have actually achieved what is excellent we wanted us to achieve. Just trying to make sure that we create the awareness. The awareness had been ongoing right from time, but we realized that the people are not complying. But with what the task force, the special task force has been able to do, we have realized that people had actually known that COVID-19 is real.
This is Shagamu local government. A different situation entirely, as people were not ready to observe any protocol, stating that the virus does not exist.
They were saying that it's wrong for us to come around, but we told them we didn't come on our own. We came by the instruction of His Excellency. And then we have been able to tell them to know the importance of the reason why they must put on the face mask. Yes, it's very sensitive, but at the end of the day, we're able to still achieve what we want to achieve. At least we're able to apprehend some people, and we're able to tell them and make sure that a lot of them, particularly the motorists and the people that are selling the marketers, are putting on their face masks.
The movement continues to Ogun West as the task force is bent on enforcing the use of face mask. It is either you use a face mask and be free, or violate the protocols and wear this uniform for few hours as you observe compulsory community service. High point of the enforcement mission is the domestication of the special task force at the local government level. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, has tasked the state government to set machineries towards ensuring immediate formation of a statewide surveillance and joint task force to include military operatives men of the Nigerian police force and paramilitary formations to combat security challenges in the state. Honorable Oluomo stated this while responding to the submission of members on the personal explanation during the plenary. Correspondent Kolawole Osho covered the plenary and his report is presented in this package.
The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, while responding to the submissions of members representing Abeokuta South 2 State Constituency, Honorable Ademiyiwa Adeyemi, his Odeda, Ifo2, and Ikene counterparts, Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, Honorable Ganiu Oyedeji, and Honorable Olakunle Shobukola, who spoke on the spate of insecurity in the state on the personal explanation, acknowledged the state security network code name Amotekun, which was presently being recruited. He, however, condemned the actions of some community leaders who often engage in the unethical habit of canvassing for bail or standing surety for suspected cult members and criminals when arrested by security agencies.
The issue of security is not becoming serious in the states. I want to charge the security agents in the state, like I used to say, for them to step up their action in combating this crime in the state. And at the same time, when I want to appreciate the governor for the step he has taken so far, I would like to, on behalf of the House, appeal to the governor to set up joint military task force in the state that will be dedicated to facing this menace that is gradually enveloping our state.
In another development, a bill on the schemes of service law for registrars, process servers, and change of nomenclature of messengers and cleaners in the Judicial Service of Osun State 2020 scaled second reading as lawmakers took time to debate the bill during the plenary. While leading the debate on the second reading of the bill, Honorable Solomon Osho opined that the bill, when operational, would improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the judicial arm of government, as it was poised to change the nomenclature of some officials like bailiff to process servers, messengers to office assistants, and cleaners to utility servers in line with international best practices, thereby raising the bar of performance through the adoption of the all-inclusive scheme of service to boost the morale of the workers. Other members who took turns to contribute to the debate on the floor of the House shortly after a motion for the second reading was moved by Honorable Solomon Osho, seconded by Honorable Abayomi Fashua, and supported by other lawmakers, submitted that the immediate passage of the bill would bring about the repositioning of the judicial arm at ensuring the effective dispensation of justice in the state. Responding, Speaker Oluomo stated that the bill was meant to increase dignity of labor while boosting the morale of the judicial officials, whose roles and duties will be clearly defined and institutionalized. He thereafter committed the bill to the Committee on Justice and Public Petitions for further legislative actions.
Osun State Government, through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, has formally handed over a cashew processing machine donated by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council to the technical partner who will handle the operation of the machine. Performing the handling over, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Oluola Ikulola, said the processing machine will bring about economic prosperity and further development of the community. Matthew Shoumi completes the reports.
Machine to be located in Imashai area of the state. Ogun State is said to take the lead among the committee of states in the processing and exportation of cashew nuts in the country.
Ogun State, as the leading producer of cashew nuts in Nigeria, has the capacity to produce 240 metric tons annually, with just 10% being processed for consumption. Imashai in Yewa North local government happens to be the home of cashew nuts in the state. Therefore, the processing machine donated to Ogun State by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, with a capacity to produce 500 kilograms of cashew nuts per day, could not have been better located. Performing the official handing over, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mr. Oluola Ikulola, said with the high demand for cashew nuts the world over, the community is being positioned to play a key role in the economic transformation of the state.
Values have not always been fully added. They will just harvest, either eat or waste or just sell raw. But this time around, this machine is going to process the cashew nut into something exportable. So you can imagine the level of socio-economic prosperity, because farmers will now be formed into maybe cooperative societies. They will be able to access loan. Acreage in terms of land will increase, and this is in tandem with the vision of our governor.
Nigerian Export Promotion Council, represented by the State Promotion Advisor, Mr. Adekunle Idowu, stated that the state will serve as a launch pad in enhancing the potentials of the nation in exportation business. The technical partner assured that the machine will be used to serve the interests of the state.
We are going to move the machine to the permanent site where we are going to have a structure to house the machine, and where we will start the layout of the factory, and we start test running of the machine and production proper.
Chairman of the Regency Council in Imashai, Chief Yemi Oluyomi, described the events as a new beginning for the economic prosperity in the community. Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
Securing national assets, critical infrastructure and the civil populace without compromise are part of the core mandates the current administration in Ogun State will continue to harmonize with paramilitary agencies and critical stakeholders towards ensuring peaceful coexistence among the people. Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Idili, gave this assurance during the celebration of World Civil Defense Day Adebola Oshomoji covered the event held at the Valley View Auditorium Government House, Abeokuta. A report.
The World Civil Defense Day is an annual event observed by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps across the country with the objectives of protecting lives and properties. As part of activities marking this year's celebrations, the Ogun State Command of the Civil Defense Corps organized a lecture with the COVID-19 protocols duly observed. While declaring the event opened, Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noemo Salako Oyedele, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Olaolu Olabinton, urged paramilitary agencies to keep exhibiting professionalism in all their conduct, patriotism in all activities, and not relent in the execution of mandate of the Corps.
We will continue to collaborate with the civil defense. We will continue to make sure that all the support that is needed from the side of government you will be giving at all times, because we believe that what you are doing is in our collective interests.
The State Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Abodunrin, appreciated the state government and other critical stakeholders for their synergy that have assisted the Corps succeed in the past years.
As you see, I want you to commend the state governor, President Kwame, for rising swiftly, for responding adequately to this crisis. Apart from the fact that he just established a committee of peace building, comprises of security operatives and members of the community, he has also set up a joint task force that will be inaugurated any moment from now to start working in those areas where we have crisis.
They should also have this critical concern.
Facilitators drilled the participants on the theme of this year's event, strong civil defense to preserve the national economy, which they described as being apt in promoting agriculture across the country. At the event, questions were asked on the strategic means of securing agricultural investment in the country. Adebola Oshomoji, OGTV News.
The National Assembly said it was working tirelessly to ensure the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, in April 2021. This came as the Joint Ad Hoc Committee of the National Assembly expressed regrets over the poor condition of the nation's refineries, adding that PIB, when passed, would revive the refineries to function optimally. The Joint Committee of Senate and House of Representatives said this in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, during a visit to Port Harcourt Refinery Company in continuation of its oversight visit of the refineries in the nation. Speaking, Mohammed Mugunu, chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee in the House of Reps on PIB and Chief Whip of the House, noted that the committee was poised to pass the petroleum bill as soon as possible. The committee co-chair said NAS would ensure the passage of the long-awaited PIB in April, adding that the bill will bring to an end the capital fights. Men of Ogun State Police Command on 23rd of February 2021 apprehended one Eyueta, a resident of number 78 Iju Road, Ifakwagege, while he was running away with the car of his boss, a Toyota Highlander with registration number APP 467GS. The suspect was accosted by men of Federal Highway Patrol at about 9:30 p.m. at Imeri Junction, Ijebu-Mushin, heading to Benin. When he was stopped by the policemen, he was unable to give satisfactory answers to all the questions posed to him, and was subsequently taken to the station for more questioning. It was at the station that he confessed to taking the car away to Benin, unknown to the owner of the car. The DPO Ijebu-Mushin CSP Hilary Simiri there and then placed a call to the owner of the car, who identified himself simply as Omokwariola, who explained to the police on phone that the driver ran away with the vehicle from Lagos and that he had already reported the case to the police. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Ajogun, was directed that the suspect be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for further investigation. A A batch of COVID-19 vaccine donated by China arrived in Maputo on Wednesday to help Mozambique fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. This was the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine received by the country. Speaking at the delivery ceremony at the airport, Mozambican Prime Minister Carlos Agato do Rosio praised China's role in fighting the pandemic and thanked the Chinese people for the friendship. Do Rosio added that the rapid availability of vaccine against COVID-19 reflects the commitment and determination of both the Chinese and Mozambican governments in guaranteeing people's well-being. To round up the midday news, peace is at our fingertip if we allow it to be. Don't forget that you can also watch us live on this platform, Apple, Roku, Facebook and Android devices. You can also watch us live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live. Email at info@ogtv.com.ng. Many thanks for joining us on the Midday News. Good afternoon.